Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you're coming on, joining us live, please do your boy a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know your boy, Ramonepreston, my squad. We're live right here on the Ramonepreston Show, live from the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, live at the RPE headquarters. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are already rejoicing and we're glad in it. Happy Millionaire Monday. Y'all already know Monday is my favorite work day of the week. It's Millionaire Monday, and I'm super excited today because I'm going to be talking to you about how holding companies help with assets and net worth. How holding companies help with assets and net worth. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know we're live right here on the Ramonepreston Show on this beautiful Millionaire Monday. I want you to put in the comments what city you're watching me from. Wherever you're watching me from, please put in the comments. I have a special presentation, a lesson that I know is going to change and transform your life, especially if you're looking at building a legacy, if you're looking at really increasing your net worth or your asset base. I want to show you some things that you can do practically to really make that happen. So again, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you don't know, now you need to know. I'm your host, Ramonepreston. Every Monday, like this Millionaire Monday, every Monday through Friday, we come here at 12 o'clock noon and we bring the game to you because we want to help you start. We want to help you structure. We want to help you scale your business, your income streams, your ministries, and your wealth building dreams, which, by the way, for all of you that are in ministry, you're ministry leaders, you churches, you preachers, evangelists, itinerant preachers, please understand there's a business to your ministry. I don't care how you slice it or dice it, there's a business to your ministry. And what I've been doing for the last 4 years is I have been leaning in heavily, showing as an example to my fellow preachers and leaders how it looks to do ministry and marketplace at the highest level. Okay, I've been a preacher for over 20 years, 2 decades. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, 2 decades. And my wife and I have been able to successfully navigate through business and ministry to our, from our perspective, we've been doing it at the highest level because we've been putting everything in it. And so we know it works and we know it can help you. So if you're not a minister, maybe you're a W-2 employee and you're just trying to figure out, man, how can I get a couple extra dollars? Listen, there's a business to your job. As a matter of fact, y'all know Jay-Z said, I'm a businessman. So if you're a W-2 employee, if you're a stay-at-home parent, it's still a business to your life. You're the CEO of your household. You're the CEO of your life. And definitely if you're an entrepreneur, you out here hustling, whether you're a network marketer, a freelancer, an independent contractor, or you got an LLC or 10 LLCs, I'm telling you, there's a way that you can take the assets that you already have, you just got to identify with them, and you can take that, create net worth so that you can really accelerate what you want to do. So again, thank you for joining the show today. I appreciate all of you for continuing to support the Ramonepreston Show. We get so many good reviews. We get so much good feedback. Don't hesitate to put feedback in the comments. If you got a question, put the question in the comments. I try to circle back around as best as I can. My squad, we're live, so they always looking in the comments. If there are questions that I miss, they'll let me know that I need to come back around and answer those questions. So I appreciate all of you. I thank you for really giving us an opportunity to help you take your businesses, your ministries, your finances to the next level. So today, I want to talk a little bit about how do holding companies help with assets and with net worth? How holding companies help with that? First of all, if you don't know what a holding company is, you need to get educated on a holding company, because a lot of companies that you do business with today, they holding companies. a lot of the biggest businesses in the world. Matter of fact, don't take my word for it. When you get some time, I want you to Google the word holding companies in the USA or holding companies in the world. And you're going to see how many popular holding companies, how many well-known companies are actually holding companies, okay? Some of the biggest companies you know, some of the biggest household names you know, they are categorically holding companies. So this whole idea that holding companies are not relevant, holding companies don't make sense, nobody needs a holding company. Yeah, tell that to all the wealthy companies. Tell that to all the wealthiest people on the planet. They'll be looking at you crazy, number one. Number two, here's another important point. You don't have to be a billion-dollar company to have a holding company. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you was watching the show last week, but I gave some examples of you could be a startup. You could only be making like $100 a week in your business or as an independent contractor. You could be a network marketer making money and you can transition into owning a business and you can run that network marketing business through your real business, and you can actually take the concept around the holding company and you can build something successful. So it don't matter how large or how small you is. Most of the times when you think about holding companies, it's bigger companies, but it don't mean you shouldn't have one as a solopreneur or as a small business owner. You should have one. The fact that you have a holding company, it proves that you understand the power of assets and the power of net worth. So I just want to show you today how holding companies help with this, because the goal is for you to get assets. That's what the goal is. I mean, can we all agree on that? The goal is to accumulate assets. That's what the goal is. The goal is to accumulate assets, because assets are what? Assets are things that flow money to you. All right? So let's establish that real quick. What is an asset? Anything, I'm going to just put it this way, anything that flows, F-L-O-W-S, flows, that moolah, baby, to you. All right? That's what an asset is. All right? So everybody should want assets. Why not? Well, everybody wants money to flow to them, don't you? Now, what those assets are is going to have a lot to do with how you identify with assets. So there are many things that you have right now at your disposal you probably don't even look at as assets, but they assets. It's just a matter of you learning to identify with them and then knowing what to do with them so that they can become valuable enough to actually flow money to you. So again, we're talking about how does a holding company help you with assets and with net worth. Well, first of all, an asset is anything that flows money to you. So I want to show you how holding companies help with getting these things that flow money to you. All right. What is net worth? Well, your net worth is the sum total of all your assets. We just making it real easy, minus your liabilities. So what is a liability? I don't know. Let's figure it out. If an asset is anything that flows money to you, then the opposite of an asset is a liability. So a liability should be anything that flows money, not to you, but flows money from you. That's what a liability is. So do you understand? All right. I just want to make sure you understand this. Let's go through it again. We're talking about how holding companies help with assets and net worth. I said to you, and I'm saying to you, that the goal as a W-2 employee, the goal as an independent contractor, the goal as a business owner, the goal as a preacher, a pastor, I don't care, the goal as a human is for you to get assets. Because when you get assets, that means you got things that flow money to you. That's the goal, okay? And then I said holding companies help with your net worth, okay? So what is your net worth? Your net worth is made up of your assets minus your liabilities. Your liabilities are things that flow money from you. So if you could figure out how to eliminate or minimize liabilities, things that flow money from you, and you can figure out how to increase your assets, You are putting yourself in the best position to increase your what? Your net worth. That's what you want to do. You want to have more assets so that you can have more net worth, so that you can be free to do the things you want to do for you and for your family. And the way to do this, or I'll say one of the easiest ways to do it, is by using this thing called a holding company. All right? And how do holding companies help with that? Well, there are many things that holding companies do to help you increase your assets and increase your net worth. The first thing is having a holding company set up. Okay? So if you got a business and your business is selling products, your business is selling services, your business is in the marketplace providing something to customers and clients, okay? That business is basically a operating business, all right? It's an operating business. So if you got an operating business, whether you got a LLC, whether you got a DBA, whether you got a fictitious name, whether you got an S Corp, whether you got a partnership, it don't matter. If you got a business that's out there selling a product or a service, okay, and it's out there trying to make some money, you, my friend, have an operating business. All right, this is step one. This is like holding company 101. So the first thing you want to do, if you already have this type of business set up, is you want to, because you're right here at the top of this business. You running it, you out there grinding and scrapping, you paint houses, you detail cars, you provide the social media marketing, you do this, you do that, you sell this, you sell that, you make this, you make that, you doing everything, all right? You have an operating business. The goal, or the first step, is for you to create a holding company. HC, LLC, holding company LLC, because you want to reposition yourself to the top of the holding company, and you want to take yourself legally off of the paperwork here. You don't want to be the owner no more. What you want to do is transfer the ownership to this company. So now, guess what you just did? You just accumulated the first asset. You just accumulated the first asset. Do you know what the first asset is? If you just did that right here, if you have a business already and you selling products, you providing a service, if you just took yourself off of here as the owner and you made the holding company, and you created a holding company and made your holding company the owner, you just created your first asset. Your first asset is actually the ownership interest of this company right here. Now you have an asset. So if this company is selling a product, if this company is providing a service, if this company is doing something that's generating revenue, whatever this company is doing, it's now an asset of the holding company, because this holding company owns most likely 100% ownership interest. All right? This is how holding companies help with your assets, help with your net worth. Because if you just own this company and you out there scrapping, making money, of course you can do it with this, but just separating yourself and using a holding company to own this operating company, it already begins the process of you accumulating assets. I was talking about accumulating assets last week. So it already starts the process. Now, if you look just at this operating business, there are many things in this business that you are probably doing that will be considered assets, or there are many assets around you that you just haven't identified with. It could be equipment that you have. Maybe you got some equipment, right? If there's certain equipment that you're doing or that you own, okay, that equipment is an asset, all right? Maybe there's a certain process that you use for providing your service or offering your product to the market. That process can be a what? That process can be an asset. Okay? Maybe there are certain people you got working with you. Let's say if you got a catering business or a food truck or you got a certain product that you sell and it's a recipe from mama. Okay, well, you got a recipe and you got mama. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. You got a recipe. Come on, baby. You got a recipe and you got mama. So I'm just showing you how separating the holding company from the operating company, even if you got an operating company that's out there doing business, what it does is it starts helping you separate the different things that could be considered assets if you accumulated them and contextualized them properly, so that once you integrate them into this new business ecosystem, all of these assets have a dollar amount. Like ownership interest of a business has a dollar amount, or it should have a certain dollar value. It's going to have a revenue value. It's going to have an enterprise value. That plays a big important role, even if you're looking at getting a loan, if you're looking at acquiring another business, if you're looking at getting a piece of real estate, if you're looking at getting a line of credit. This plays a very important role because now you have this whole list of assets that you probably have dollar amounts associated to. And if you're very savvy and sophisticated, you probably got paperwork on. You get what I'm saying? But your holding company is going to help this. So for example, if I have a operating business, okay? So I'm going to put my operating business here. If I have an operating business here, all right? And then I put myself up here and start a holding company. All I have to start doing over here is put a list together of all the things that I can consider to be assets, okay? All the things that I can consider to be assets so that I can increase my net worth. Now, how do I do that? Well, I have to start accumulating these assets. Well, it could just start with a list. Okay, so what is the first asset? Well, of course, you're an asset. Okay, you, the owner, the CEO. You, the CEO, you're an asset. Your holding company can be an asset. Your operating business, that's ownership interests. And if you can't keep up with me and understand all this, don't worry about it. I got all this in courses, so you can always get access to it. All right, now if I look at my operating business, I might have certain products and services that I provide. Well, guess what? My products could be inventory. That can be an asset. So let me put my asset list up here. Asset list. I got products, inventory. Maybe I have certain services that I provide. Maybe my services are a part of my assets. Well, maybe if you have equipment, your equipment, I don't know. Equipment can be a part of that. Maybe you have certain processes. Maybe this could be more of a trade secret. It could be a trade secret. Maybe it's a recipe. I don't know. Of course, it could be a trademark. It could be a copyright. But I'm just going to show you, once you start putting a whole list together, I'm just doing this, and I could only have like 2 businesses, a holding company, LLC. This could be LLC number 1. And this could be LLC number 2. See, a lot of entrepreneurs, they start businesses, and when the average entrepreneur starts a business, because I did it. Let me see. My first business I started, it was an operating business. Let's see, how many businesses did I start before I start my holding company? My first business, and then my second business, then my third. So my holding company was probably my 4th business. So it took me 3 businesses to come around to, well, actually, yeah, it took me 3. The third business I actually set up as a holding company, but I dissolved it because I wanted to reorganize what is now known as Ramonepreston Enterprises. So technically, my third business was a holding company. It was abbreviated RP Enterprises. It wasn't Ramonepreston Enterprises, but because I had a trademark that I wanted to pursue for my name, I wanted to spell my name out inside of the LLC, okay? But I'm just giving you an example of a list that you can start putting together. Now, at some point when you accumulate these assets, you already probably have them, you just haven't contextualized them. You probably haven't put them down in a way to where you looked at them and you're like, oh wow, I have all these things. Some of y'all got other assets. You got leases, you got agreements, you got paperwork. And even if you don't have this stuff, I'm telling you, having documentation and paperwork or history, work history or business history with a lot of these different things among these two entities or 3 or 4 entities, it changes the dynamics of your asset base and how the value of those assets work towards increasing your net worth. So I would love to get some feedback from those of you that are watching. I know I say so much at one time, but again, you got to start looking at it as a way to put yourself in the best position, especially if you want to get funding, because this a big thing now. Everybody's into this thing of, okay, I want to get a loan. I want a bank to give me money. I want to get credit cards. I want to get funding. Well, a lot of times these institutions, they're going to take into consideration the assets that you actually have. And if you never put this asset list together, this is just a couple. I have about 30 different ones. It could be a retirement account you have that you self-directed either to your holding company, or you self-directed to another LLC under your holding company. I got clients who have done that. They've taken their retirement accounts, they put them in self-directed LLCs, and then that LLC is owned by the holding company. But guess what? That self-directed retirement account that's in the LLC, it's got a dollar amount to it. It has a dollar value to it. And what does that do? That changes your asset base and it changes your net worth. I mean, think about this. If you took the whole list of assets that I talk about, I mean, listen to some of these things. I got them on a piece of paper here, but I have them in courses as well. Trademarks, copyrights, intellectual property, stocks and bonds, digital currency, ownership interests, real estate, licenses, royalties, equipment, platforms, technology, inventory, leases, contracts like accounts receivables, acquisitions like actually owning other people's businesses or buying ownership interests in their business, talent. It may be certain people you got that other people don't have. I mean, think about it. If you the colonel and you got the KFC recipe, you an asset. You worth money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just some people, they're not replaceable until the asset of who they are is converted over into other assets. You can transferable assets like the IRA. If you got a 401k or you have some type of retirement account and you want to move that under your business, your holding company, guess what? That's an asset. I have clients that do it, that have done it, so I know what I'm saying is true. Here's some other assets: automation, acceleration, and perpetuation of products and services. So you might have a certain course that you teach. You might have a certain book that you wrote. You might have a certain idea about a certain industry, or it could be about marriage, relationships. It could be about church, ministry, business, family, children, parenting, hair, anything, weather, fitness. If you can create some automated product on a digital platform with that idea, and put it in a digital form that it can be automated, you could be making money off that thing in perpetuity 20 years from now, you could still be making money off of it. Lowering your taxes or lowering your expenses, that's an asset to your business. Repositioning yourself. If you knew how to reposition yourself as an expert because you got experience and history, that's another asset. Improving your CSE, or what we call customer service experience, increasing your sales, leveraging like insurance. Of course, there's certain types of insurance that you can leverage. Not all insurance, but you can leverage your insurance. You can leverage your personal credit. You can leverage credit cards. You can leverage loans. You can take your personal belongings, like all the stuff that I just mentioned, over 30 different assets, right? Imagine if you had all them in a list and you accumulated them under your holding company, meaning that you transferred the ownership of them all to the ecosystem of your holding company or under your holding company. And then you work towards putting a dollar amount to all of them. Like just doing that with your calculator or on a piece of paper start showing you how your assets grow, and then the dollar amount of those assets grow, and then the net worth of your company grows. Listen, I've worked with a lot of different companies. I have a lot of different platforms that I work with, and I'm telling you, there are companies today that can just take the history, the paperwork, the profit and loss statements, the activity of all this stuff that I'm talking about, and they could help you determine what your net worth is, what your enterprise value is, what the valuation of your enterprise is, and they can actually tell you how much you could get if you sold it. So what I'm saying to you is critical to where you want to go. Either you can scrap it out for the next 15, 20 years, like I did for the first 15 years, or you can get a little more sophisticated and say, you know what, maybe I can skip 10 or 15 years if I listen to what this dude is saying now, because he knows a little bit more than what I do, and I don't want to just scrap it out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Lisa, she says, that's awesome. Happy Millionaire Monday. Good afternoon to you, Lula. CB Enterprises, he said, thanks for the structure, because these principles and practices will allow me to turn up without a loan until I know I already have the money for the loan before I take the loan. That's a classic example, CB. It's a classic example, because I'm telling you, here's what happened to me. When I first started my business, I didn't have a lot of sales, so I was leveraging some of these things that we now call assets, but I didn't have them like contextualized the right way. I didn't have it the right way. The only thing that saved me from like going bankrupt really is me and my wife. We have this determination and this tenacity, so we'll get up every day and we'll just grind it out. We're gonna scrap. We're gonna make it do what it do. But I didn't have the organizational infrastructure of a holding company set up when I started my first business, when I started my second business. It really wasn't until I started my third business that I realized how important and how valuable these types of infrastructures and strategies were. The problem was, by the time I did get to my fourth LLC, which was my current holding company, I had already accumulated a lot of liabilities. And so I had to start, I kind of had to go backwards first before I went forwards. So I had to pay off a whole lot of debt. I had to take all of the revenue that I was generating and I had to push it into other things like paying off credit card bills and paying off loans and making sure that I was free of consumer debt so that I could at some point accumulate debt if I needed to, but it would be a leverage play. You get what I'm saying? So the only thing that I had at one point was things that you don't think about. I had intellectual property, right? I had ideas that I knew was making at least a little bit of money. And again, it could just be one little event that you host a year. but you put this event on and you get 10 or 20 people to show up and they gave you $20 or $30 to show up. That might not look like a lot, but at least it's a proof of concept, something there. You got to take what you got and you got to start building that thing out. Like you could take one idea for an event and you can turn that thing into like 8 or 9 different products with 8 or 9 different assets that can generate you revenue, that can increase your net worth, that can give you more enterprise value. So what I'm saying to you is very, very important. This is how a holding company helps with your assets, because when you put all these assets together and you have a holding company set up, it just makes it easier for you to start separating those assets. So when I have a holding company set up and I have all these assets, now I could separate my HC holding company from my operating company, my OC, and I can say, for example, if my operating company provides a service, okay? Let's say my operating company provides a service. All right, my operating company provides a service, or my operating company sells a product, okay? So my service is essentially an asset. So I need to start thinking about how can I provide this service in such a way that I can start projecting and predicting and forecasting future revenue. Maybe that's because my services are tied to contracts. My services are tied to agreements. For example, if you provide a service and you're saying, you know what, I can provide this service and this is how much it costs for one service. Now I want to figure out, okay, it could be hair. You could be doing hair, or you could be cutting grass, or whatever the service is, right? Your goal is to convert this into something that can have a dollar amount associated to it, not just from the sale, but also from a future forecast. So it may be you saying, okay, I'm going to start a program based on this service. I'm going to start a program, and it's going to be a 1-year program that instead of you paying $100 for one service, I'm going to give you 12 services once a month for a year, and it's going to be the price of a quarter of one service. So instead of you paying $100, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm just giving you like hypothetical examples. But again, a lot of this stuff I'm sharing with you, I've done it. So let's say, for example, if you got a service that costs $100, okay? So if somebody paid for 12 services, they would pay $1,200 or $100 for the one service. But they might only do it every once in a while because they might not want to pay $100 every month. And that's $1,200 a year. But let's say if you said, you know what, I'm gonna give you 12, and instead of you paying 100, let's say I'll give you the 12 for 500. So you pay the $500 either up front, or you pay, let's say $47 a month for 12 months, and once a month you can come. So it's a $1,200 value you're getting for only $47 a month. Now, what's going to make that valuable? Well, if I could get a contract that has a value of $500 at $47 a month, I've gone from $100 every once in a while to value over the course of a year, because now I'm looking at my deal value, I'm looking at contracts, because I'm trying to build this asset up so that it has way more value. So let's say if it's $47 a month for 12 months, 47 times 12, that's actually $564. But again, if I get 10 people on that, I have $5,600 of value on paper. So all of a sudden you take these things that you accumulate and you start associating dollar amounts to them, whether it's through contracts, whether it's through intellectual property, whether it's through ownership interests, and it easily starts exploding when you look at it from that perspective. So I would love to add more value to you. I just added a whole course inside of my Millionaire Blueprint. It's called How to Increase Your Net Worth Using a Holding Company. So I would love to give you access to that. And I have a workshop coming up in 2.5 weeks, April the 22nd on Saturday, we're going to be hosting a one-day holding company workshop here. So if you're interested in joining me for that holding company workshop, here's what I want you to do. I want you to reach out to me today, because what we're offering is one VIP ticket. Don't miss this offer. One VIP ticket to my holding company workshop. So that means you get one ticket to join me. It could be in person or it could be virtual. If you can't make it here on Saturday, April the 22nd, you could join me virtually, okay? So here's what I want to give you. I want to give you one VIP ticket to my holding company workshop. It's a one-day deep dive. It's a workshop, all right? And plus, I want to give you access to my holding company course. So I have a course dedicated to the holding company course, okay? So if you want to learn everything you possibly can about a holding company, and I promise you, if I give you access just to this course and you go through that whole course, you're going to feel like you're a holding company guru, all right? So this is the offer that I'm extending to you today. I'm giving you one holding company course, one VIP ticket to my holding company workshop that's coming up soon, and you get it for $97. You can't beat that with a bat, all right? So if you want to take me up on that offer for $97, I'm giving you a VIP ticket to my holding company workshop. It's a one-day event. I host it on Saturday, April the 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We go through a deep dive on the holding company. I show you how to start them, how to structure them, how to file and form the paperwork. We talk about how to build your divisions and your subsidiaries out. We go through a deep dive on how to take ideas or products or other assets and integrate them into your holding company so you can start increasing your net worth. We talk about business systems and how you tie them into your holding company. So if you have one or two or three different entities, you're not confused about how you run the day-to-day operations of them. So that's a one-day holding company workshop. But then you take advantage of it today, and I want to give you access to my holding company course. So that gives you at least 2.5 weeks to take the online course so you can be polished and ready for the event. $97, you get both. All you have to do, if you're ready, is text the word VIP. Text VIP to 678-276-8253. You can't beat that. I'm giving it to you. I'm literally giving it to you, okay? So if you want to take me up on that, you better text me today, because I already told my team we're going to hold it for the first few people that come in, because we already know in person we only have so many people we can host, and virtual we can host more people, but we want to make this available for you. I want to teach you these principles. I want you to put them to practice, because I want you to be financially free. I want you to become a millionaire. I want you to get to where you want to be so that you could be a blessing to your family, to your church, and to your community. So if you want to take me up on this offer, one VIP ticket to my upcoming holding company workshop is virtual or in person. That's a one-day event. If you go to my website right now, this event alone is $497. It costs $500 to come to this event. All right? But we're giving you the VIP ticket, and I'm going to also onboard you to our holding company course. So we sell these courses individually for at least $497. Maybe some discounts we offer $197 and $297. So you're talking about a $997 program, easy, that we're offering for just $97. No strings attached, $97. You can't even go to my website and find this. It doesn't exist. We're just offering it in-house because we want to help as many of you as we can get your holding company set up in this second quarter. So just text VIP to 678-276-8253. 8253. Text the word VIP. You are a very important person. Text VIP to 678-276-8253. Lisa, how you doing, Lisa? She said, can I attach a holding company to our radio station since our business is LLC? Absolutely you can. You should. You should do that. In this case, if you having a radio station and your business is a LLC, think about everything that you're sharing on your station. Think about all the products and services that's coming from your promotion through that radio station. All the services that you can provide, all the products that you can sell. You want that intellectual property owned by your holding company. You want your holding company to be set up in a way to where it can take advantage of starting other businesses, not all meshed in that one business, but in multiple divisions or subsidiaries. So absolutely, not only can you attach a holding company to your business, but you should. So if you have an existing LLC and it's not a holding company, you start a holding company, and then once you start your holding company, you're going to, let me just move this over here. So let's say if you have your LLC right here and it already exists. So you out there, you got radio station, you doing other things, you start your holding company here. So if you have your LLC, it may be you and your husband right here. So y'all the owners of the LLC. What happens is when you start a holding company, you both become the owners of the holding company, and you transfer the ownership of this current LLC to that LLC. So now not only are you protected, but if there are things that you're doing in this company that you don't want this company to own, it could be some intellectual property, it could be copyrights from a book or from courses or lessons. You move that ownership of here and you just let this company use it when it needs to use it. That's how you start accumulating assets, and that's how you start building and expanding your organizational enterprise. I promise y'all, listen, I'm gonna give y'all like 3 years. I'm gonna give y'all 3 years. I promise you, 3 years from now, a lot of what I'm saying, people are gonna be looking back saying, oh my God, we should have listened to him in 2023. I got people right now telling me, man, if I would have listened to you in 2018 when you first started going public talking about this stuff, I would already be a millionaire. I got people who telling me today, if I would have listened to you in 2020 when I first came to one of your events or when I first joined this program, I would be a millionaire. Don't be the person in 2026 looking back saying, I don't know why I didn't just trust you and listen to you in 2023. I thought you was just another snake oil salesman. I thought you were just another internet person trying to sell me on something or finesse me. Of course I'm trying to sell you. I ain't trying to finesse you because I'm already doing it. And here's the good thing. Everything that I teach, I've done it, I'm doing it, and I've built actual businesses that are successful. So my business is not just the business of teaching you how to do something I didn't do. I'm teaching you something I've done, and I'm circling back around saying, hey, I figured this out. Here's how you do it. And this is how you get to where you want to go. So you want to take me up on it, you get 1 ticket to my holding company workshop, and you get my holding company course. It already has a startup kit inside. So it shows you how to actually file and form your paperwork if you want to do it yourself. If you don't want to do it yourself, at least you know what you're paying somebody else to do. So we give you all that for $97. Text VIP to 678-276-8253. Hey, I love and appreciate you all. Thank you for joining the show today. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. Please follow me on social media. YouTube, subscribe. I need your subscription. Instagram, I need you to follow me. Facebook, LinkedIn, but definitely YouTube and Instagram. We want to get to 10,000 subscribers, and we're almost there. We need your support. We need your subscriptions. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining the show today. We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon, right here on the Ramonepreston